The reason I made this document is because in the past there have been many attempts to convert me into homosexuality with the most utterly outrageous thing that was done to me. It was in the year 2019 when some kind of a supernatural force, whether it was a creature or something else, constantly twitched my prostate when I was meeting with an employer, a male employer at work. I felt extremely humiliated by that treatment, and I would not like that to repeat ever again. I actually would not like to be abused in any way ever again at all. But any aggressive attempts to convert me into homosexuality have to cease. I will now read the document to you. Statements in defense of my sexual orientation. I like women. I like mostly regular CIS women, but sometimes I show interest in trans women too. And by the way, I have looked up on the internet what is it called being interested in both regular women and trans also. Apparently it still counts as being heterosexual. It's merely a form of heterosexuality. Let's continue. I have never shown any sexual, romantic, or intimate interest in men. There have been many attempts to convert me into homosexuality, from putting near me two teenage boys who would show me how they touch each other's groin, or send after me any amount, sometimes large amount, of perverted homosexuals after me, particularly in public gyms. And the very most extreme thing that was done to me is constant twitching of my prostate by a supernatural force whenever I would talk to a certain male employer. None of these attempts ever succeeded, and I don't like being used as some kind of a test subject. I am not interested in that kind of a relationship with a dude, and it's been proven over and over again. Of course, I can have positive relationships with men, but just not intimate, romantic, or sexual ones. I would even treat people who are gay with the same respect as all human beings, so long as they respect my sexual orientation and also don't try to treat me with any sort of perversion. Will I give you one of the examples of the one of the worst things that happened is, I believe it was in the year 2017, when I was trying to become more flexible for gymnastics. I was exercising the side split actually with an overhead barbell in the public gym, And then there came this guy behind me who was looking at me as though I was giving him some kind of erotic show, and he actually began masturbating behind me while watching me. And of course, I scared that guy off, but I would not like anything of the sort happening ever again. Let's continue. In the past, whoever was tracking me would use any possible excuse to either think that I'm a homosexual in secret or subconsciously, or try to pull me into homosexuality otherwise. Whether I played with my body in any way that they thought was homoerotic, like anal playing, trying to suck my own dick, or masturbating and coming into my own mouth, or taking female hormones, or even wanting to temporarily, as I remember it, become transsexual. They always tried to make me gay. And mind you, even if I had become a transsexual, I would still be interested in women and not men. Let's continue. Listen, no matter what I do to myself or with myself, I am not gay and I don't want to be. Self-playing in any way is not a sexual orientation, it's just self-playing. Anal self-playing says nothing about being gay. There are even men fucked in the ass by women with a strap on. It's called pegging, and it's not the same as being gay. That I had the black colored butt plug that I experimented with for anal play most certainly doesn't mean that I had any sort of idea of having a black man's penis up my ass. I never thought anything of the sort. I made a detailed YouTube video on the subject called "They Once Thought That I Was Into Black Guys Just Because I Had a Black Sex Toy." They have absolutely no right to judge me as being something I'm absolutely not. Based on some private act, some self-playing that I do with myself. Also, whenever I tried having oral sex with myself and inseminated myself in the mouth, that's not a homosexual act. It has nothing to do with other men. It was an act of self-interest. It was an autosexual act. That's the correct term. On many times, back in the days of gymnastics, I wanted to suck my own dick and swallow my own sperm. But the idea of doing it with some dude is repulsive. There were also times when I thought of having either oral or anal sex with trans women, but I never wanted to do that with a man. I wanted to be fully understood that having any interest in transsexuality, whether having relations with a trans woman or becoming one myself, not something that I currently have plans for, is different than having interest in men. What I'm saying is, while I can have intimate or sexual relations with a trans woman, I wouldn't have them with a man. Also, even if I wanted to become a trans woman myself, I wouldn't want to date a man. Also, even if I had either oral or anal sex with a trans woman, either or both on the giving or the receiving end, even being inseminated orally or anally by her, I wouldn't do that with a man. Also, I wanted to be understood that no matter what sexual acts I do on my own does not mean that I would do them with a man. Yes, I have masturbated into my own mouth and swallowed my own semen on multiple occasions, but that's my own fucking semen. I also touch my own penis when I masturbate, but that doesn't mean that I would ever touch some other man's penis. I could touch a trans woman's penis, but that's not a penis of a male person. Yeah, I could touch a trans woman's penis, but not a penis of a male person, other than my own. So just like I would touch my own penis, but not some guys, I would also, if I feel like it, although I don't currently have any plans to do so, masturbate into my own mouth, swallow my own semen, try to suck my own dick, insert things into my own butt, whether fingers or sex toys, but it doesn't mean that I would like to do any of that with another man. I wouldn't, I really wouldn't. With a trans woman, maybe, yes, but not with a man. Hell, I could get fucked in the ass and get inseminated anally by a trans woman, or on another occasion, suck her dick and swallow her sperm, but not with a man. Also, I wanted to stop being made like some kind of major event that on December 1st, 2016, I masturbated and came into my own mouth and swallowed my own sperm at least twice. I don't remember if it was 3 times, maybe it was. It's not the first time that I recall masturbating into my own mouth and swallowing my own sperm. Possibly not even the first time that I did it several times in a row, and possibly not the first time I recorded it on a video. And also, I definitely didn't publicize that video or post it anywhere. It was a private act done in my own room in my family's rented apartment. I don't recall trying or asking, sharing that act with the rest of the world, nor do I want that event to be memorized by it. Also, I don't appreciate it how following that event I started getting followed obsessively by homosexuals. What I do with my own penis, sperm, mouth, and butt is my own private business. I can do to myself or with myself whatever the fuck I want, and it has nothing to do with anyone else and neither homosexuality. I have suffered a lot from homosexuals aggressively trying to get physical attention from me, following me wherever I went, especially gyms, especially since that act. I don't want it to be decided for me what sexual orientation or interest I'm supposed to be, especially when it's decided upon things that I do on my own and have nothing to do with other people. I have never dated a man, right? I've never done anything sexual with a man, right? So what gives them the right to decide to try to force me into homosexuality? They don't have it. They even tried twitching my prostate repeatedly in conversations with a former male employer, and they were abusing and humiliating me by doing so. Literally, physically trying to force me to become a homosexual. Why? Because I came into my own mouth and swallowed my own sperm on multiple occasions? because I fantasized being fucked in the ass by a transsexual elf on multiple occasions and even came during it? Or is it because I sometimes tried putting stuff up my own ass in an attempt to have a prostate orgasm? Let me ask you, what does that have anything to do with having interest in males? There are big differences between males, whether straight or homosexuals, and trans women. Yeah, I sometimes have interest in trans women. Hell, I even wanted to become one myself on several occasions, but I never had any sexual, intimate, or romantic interest in dudes. I want that fact to be both acknowledged and respected. I want my real sexual preferences to be both acknowledged and respected. I definitely don't want them to be decided for me. In some ways, it's similar to how I don't want it to be decided for me what woman should be important to me, especially when they have absolutely done nothing to deserve that honor. It's not based on merit, some action that improved my life, but what they think they can use to manipulate me. I don't like it. My mother is important because she has been taking care of me for such a long time. You can't just decide that some random or semi random woman is important to me. My point is that I want complete freedom in whom I date or have sex with or when. I don't want those things decided for me. I don't want parasitic women and I don't want forced homosexuality. I want to be free in every aspect, but there is a lot of obsessive attempts to control me in this particular area of intimacy and sexuality. Therefore, I'm emphasizing it like that. Me being a virgin without any intimate or sexual experience with other people might be the reason of why they try so hard to control me in that area, because they think of it as a weakness prone to exploitation. But you see, I don't have to have all the experience that people who have dated and laid with many people have, because I have those things called intelligence and awareness, and I'm not built to be controlled or disciplined like some kind of animal or otherwise lower life form. That's all I had to say about this subject.